Medicine is a good career, so I've been told. And if you fancy yourself a snappy youngster planning to throw your hat in the ring, let me give you a word of warning. You're gonna have to deal with a lot of crap, and in some cases, literal crap. You ever hear of a bowel impaction? But sometimes it's the constant chipping away at your sanity that takes the biggest toll on your resolve to push through and finally get one of these. Like getting asked over and over again by every Aunt Linda or Uncle Pat or Meemaw. What kind of doctor do you wanna be? So let me go ahead and give you my go-to response to shut it down every time you get this question. A darn good one. But some of you out there might actually be wondering,
But gee willikers, Alec, surely the golden goose knows what kind of doctor he wants to be.
and yeah, I do have an inkling of what kind of doctor I'd like to be, and it all stems from a very specific criteria. I want to be the kind of doctor that never has to wear one of these. I know, shocking. And I want to go ahead and apologize to any pre-med social media influencers out there that I might have caused to inadvertently spill their kombucha or single-serving Greek yogurt all over their fabricated Instagram study setup upon hearing such heresy. But in all seriousness, I really don't plan to ride the white coat boat much farther than medical school. Whatever specialty I go into, I want to be wearing scrubs. Hey, did anyone notice that we're taking a really long time to get into the actual topic of this video? Yeah, how come scrubs are always blue or green? Can we get an answer to that question, Goose? Well, you sure can, because there's actually a pretty fascinating reason behind it, and don't Google it because it's more fun when I tell it. Right here on Super Medical Fun Time. Okay, snack break. If you've ever been in the hospital or watched a medical drama, you've probably seen a variety of scrub colors worn by the staff, but most of them were probably some shade of blue or light green. These colors are iconic of the medical field, and I even put them in the show logo because I really couldn't think of a better way to say,
Hey, this is a medical show.
But medical staff haven't always worn these colors. Decades ago, doctors and nurses mainly wore white clothing, which is something you probably are familiar with if you've ever seen old movies or been to a Halloween party full of 20 to 30-year-olds. The change of colors can essentially be broken down into 3 reasons. Or at least I'm only aware of 3 reasons, and let's be honest, for the sake of this show, 3 is kind of a convenient number to land on, so bottom line is, you're getting 3 reasons. First of all, white is not a great color to wear if you'd like to hide stains, of which there is no lack in the medical field. Now, there is an advantage to being able to see stains in the medical field, because then you're not going home to your family giving them, big old hugs when you're covered in hepatitis juice. On the other hand, when you work during a time in history when showering after working a shift at the hospital is considered common sense, you may prefer an appearance that's not primarily characterized by the palette of bodily fluids artfully spread across your canvas-like scrubs for the duration of your 12-hour shift. Also, patients may not be wild about getting taken care of by a nurse who looks like they just got done butchering livestock. It just so happens that blue and green are pretty successful at hiding blood stains. Red on white kind of stands out pretty strongly, but red on blue or green takes on more of a black appearance, and in this case, patient doesn't know if the stain on your scrub top is from getting tagged by a spurting jugular in the room next door, or if you just got a little clumsy with your morning coffee. Second, blue and green are considered calming colors. Now, this comes from some sort of research about how colors make us feel from psychologists or someone. It's just like they say, those who can't do, teach. And those who can't teach, research color feelings. Moving on. So blue and green make people, feel relaxed and nice and easy, whereas colors like red and yellow make people want to go fast and, experience life and emotions and sensations and oof. This is one of the reasons why fast food chains are always, red and yellow and other bright colors, because They just want you to get in there, cram it down your gob, get your refill of Diet Coke, and get the heck out.
But Mr. the Goose, people wear all kinds of scrub colors.
Well, surprisingly, people don't put too much weight on color psychology, believe it or not. Lastly, and probably most interestingly, the practice of wearing blue and green scrubs helps recalibrate your doctor's eyes. You heard correctly, recalibrate the eyes. So vision, like all of your senses, adjusts to what it detects. So when you're outside in the bright sun or you're in a dark room, your pupils adjust their size based on signals that they're receiving from the light-sensitive neurons in your eyes. Now, you also have neurons in your eyes that are sensitive to color called cones. You have cones for red light, blue light, and green light. When any of these cones is stimulated for an excessive period of time, they essentially begin to run low on signaling molecules, which affects how much they're able to signal to the brain in a given amount of time. And whenever they run low, it makes the signals coming from the other cones seem stronger in comparison. Like, imagine your friend just keeps talking and talking about how excited they are for the next big Marvel movie, and then, start to run out of breath and they need a moment before they can tell you how great the trailer for Captain Avenger Infinity Game looks. And when they do, that moment of silence is gonna just seem all the more peaceful and sweet in comparison. I like Marvel movies, by the way. So as your red cones get stimulated, they start to become bleached, and then everything starts to look a little more blue or green. Now, you can easily notice this by closing your eyes and looking at a light for a little bit, and that'll cause red light through the blood in your eyelids to stimulate those cones. But for doctors, when they're performing a surgery and looking inside a patient's body, or if they're examining redness on skin, that's the most common place that they're seeing excessive red. Now, it's better for patients if their doctors are able to properly distinguish red. And this is because, as it turns out, when stuff goes wrong in the body, it tends to turn red. And this is because your bone nectar, pretty dang red. And I'm sure this is nothing new to you, especially if you've seen the blood video. Well, it turns out that this shade of green is like the exact opposite of blood red. So it provides sort of like an opposite stimulation to the cones in your eyes. And in other words, it's like a palate cleanser, which allows your eyes to reset. So when your surgeon's, working on you, and then they look away for whatever reason, and they see this pristine green mat that all the scalpels are laid on, they get this little refresher for their eyes, and then they're rejuvenated. They can go and they can do their work and say, oh, that's red, nurse, or whoever. I've never done surgery. It's like when you're shopping for cologne or perfume, they always have that little metal dish of coffee beans, and you can just, ooh, and then you're ready. You're ready to go smell some more Calvin Klein or whatever. It might not seem like a big deal, but I guess when someone's life is in your hands, you take whatever help you can get. And besides, it's still better than color feelings research. Well, there you go, my little goslings. 3 answers to a question that you probably didn't have. But on Super Medical Fun Time, we're not just about practical knowledge. No, we believe that fun facts are they're like little snacks for the brain. They keep you hungry, keep you wanting to learn more. So this has been an episode on the fashion trends in the medical field. Next up, let's figure out what happened to those little paper nurses hats. I liked those. And then maybe that doctor headlamp thingy. I kind of want one of those. I wonder what the purpose of it is, but let's be honest, it looks pretty dope.